Hi, I'm Matthew Kind. Every Monday, look for a fresh new episode where I'll take you behind the scenes and interview the insiders that are shaping the rapidly evolving cannabis industry. Learn more at cannainsider.com. That's C-A-N-N-A insider.com. Now here's your program. How do you take lessons learned from Silicon Valley and apply them to cannabis POS software to help cannabis retailers save time and money? Here to help us answer that question is Barry Sakes, CEO of Greenbits. Barry, welcome to Canna Insider.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Give us a sense of geography. Where are you in the world today?
I am in Silicon Valley. Our company has a few people in Silicon Valley, and then we have some people in the Pacific Northwest and spread out all over the world, actually.
Okay. And what's Greenbits on a high level?
The Greenbits is a point of sale and inventory track and trace system for cannabis dispensaries to use to run their operations.
Okay. And Barry, can you share a little bit about your background and journey and how you got into the cannabis space and started Greenbits?
Sure. I spent a long time working at a company called Intuit that makes TurboTax and QuickBooks. And spent a good amount of time in TurboTax, in the product management organization there, and was head of product at TurboTax for a time. And then I became a general manager running businesses at Intuit. But all those businesses were focused on either personal finance or small business accounting and finance. So then later in my career, as I was moving on from Intuit and some other businesses, I've maintained that theme of focusing on businesses that really were trying to solve problems for small business owners. And when I came across the Greenbits opportunity, it really was a great fit for me, given my background in small business accounting and also coupled with my background in compliance and with filing tax returns with the government. There's a similar problem in the cannabis space in terms of filing all of your cannabis reporting with the various state entities. So it was a really good fit for me when I learned more about Greenbits in the space.
Okay. And Barry, there's a few POS systems or point of sale systems for cannabis retailers. Where do you think Greenbits' strength is relative to the competition out there?
Yeah, you're right. There are quite a few of them, although we're starting to see it consolidate into a few of the bigger players. But where Greenbits really stands out is we early on focused on compliance. And so we really work hard to ensure that our customers are 100% compliant with their state rules and regulations in terms of all their filings. And we make it really seamless and easy to stay compliant. So as you're using the product and selling products and taking in inventory, we've worked hard to make it so that you just have to use the system and we do all the filing in the background. So that's one big strength. And the second one is we've really focused on ease of use of our point of sale register system. So we're the only one in the market that has an app-based system that ensures a high degree of usability, really speedy operation, and a user interface that's really designed for a tablet so that bud tenders can really work effectively. And overall, all this translates into time savings for the dispensary. You don't want to spend time as a dispensary owner or manager, training people or having to go back and do a bunch of catch-up filing or building your own Excel reports to send to the state filing agency. We make all that go away so that you can spend more time figuring out how to grow your business and get more customers and sell more product.
Yeah, and it's just super boring, let's be honest, Barry.
It is. It's a little boring to be working in spreadsheets and doing accounting stuff. And so that's what software is for. That's why companies like Greenbits exist, is to make all that easy so you can spend time doing things that are more enjoyable, more fun.
And what about, how does it work then with these state regulators? Do you apply as a partner to get an API to their compliance system, or how does that work?
Our customers actually do get the keys so that we are filing on behalf of them, but we work closely with the various providers and have an API that we use with them. So we definitely have a lot of communication with the various filing agencies to work out how best to solve the problems for our customers together.
Which of the states do you think are doing the best job in just creating a kind of a nimble, effective software for compliance? I mean, it's not something, like I said, it's not fun, but which state's doing a good job? Would you say the top one or two?
Yeah. One point of clarification too is that almost all the states outsource the filing to three companies. There's Metric, Leaf, and BioTrack. Metric is the leading company. They have the most states under contract. And then a lot of it is affected by the rules the states put in place, and then Metric implements those rules. So from a rules standpoint, I would really look at Oregon as being a leader. You know, they've been out early and figuring out how to make everything work. But the legislature and the rules have really taken an approach of enabling the market and making it easy for both Metric and the dispensaries to understand what the rules are and then stay compliant with the rules.
Okay. And when you think about the process that a worker in a dispensary has to go through, an employee there, how do you think about workflows and automating that? I mean, we talked about, with the regulation piece and like making sure you're compliant with reporting, but what other kind of workflows are there? There's many, intaking inventory is a big deal. So making sure you've got the inventory set up properly and then intaking the actual products, and counting them and then making them available for sale. Conducting sales is the most important one, making sure that you can actively process sales. We actually have an emergency mode so that if the network goes down, we allow our customers to continue processing sales because that's such an important workflow. And then there's stuff that starts to get much more complicated and nuanced. Customers that have more than one store will need to split inventory and transfer it between locations, which requires some special work. And then another example would be managing deliveries and setting up deliveries in a good way. One frustration I know that's out there is sometimes, let's say you run out of flour of a particular strain or a vape cartridge or an edible, and then the third party kind of live menu or review sites show that they're in stock even though they're not in stock, and the end user gets frustrated. Do you think there's progress being made there? Can you talk about that at all?
There is, and that's a result of the menu and online menu companies being separate companies from the point of sale. There's definitely progress in partnership. We're working closely with the menu providers. I'll mention Dutchie as one that we've worked with quite a bit. And we're just working on how to figure out what the right way to make sure they're up to date with current inventory and representing products in the right way. There's a lot of detail there and a lot of rules. Again, you get back into the compliance aspect of what pricing and what products you show. But we're making a lot of progress. It really does require a partnership between the companies.
Okay. So a lot of retailers want to be able to integrate with other software packages that do different things. So everything talks together. What's kind of being asked for the most, and what do you integrate with now?
Well, we integrate with, we call them online menu feeds. So the online menu companies is a big one. The other one is loyalty points. A lot of the stores, cannabis is a pretty competitive retail space. And so just as you see in some of the other competitive retail segments, where the retailers are trying to drive loyalty points and other programs and couponing and reaching out to customers with marketing programs to try to bring customers back to their store. We see that in the cannabis space as well, and loyalty points is a key feature that allows that. So those are, I think, the two big ones that we've seen. The third I'll mention is then delivery integration, and that's something that the COVID pandemic has certainly raised in importance. There's a lot more emphasis on delivery these days.
Now, you mentioned that you worked at Intuit, which most people heard of TurboTax, and then most business owners have heard of QuickBooks. One of the things that really set Intuit apart, especially in the early days, was making it usable for their clients. And I had read about this. I can't remember in which book. And one of the ways that Intuit made sure the software products were usable for the way that the users actually used them, not this pie in the sky